This lesson is on section 5.8, titled The Percent of Change. So to define the percent of change, you're going to find the amount of change, and then you're going to write the ratio of the amount of change to the original amount, and then finally you're going to write the ratio as a percent. And I'm going to go through an example that will help explain this a little bit better. So the example says 2 months ago, the bicycle shop sold 50 bikes. Last month, 55 bikes were sold. Find the percent of change and then say whether the percent of change is an increase or a decrease. So looking at our steps here, we're going to first find the amount of change. Okay, so first what we're going to do is we're going to take, last month the bike shop sold 55 bikes. 2 months ago, they sold 50 bikes. So we're going to subtract to find the amount of change to be the 5 bicycles. Number 2 says, write the ratio of the amount of change to the original amount. So we know that it changed by 5 bicycles. And the original amount was 50 bicycles because they sold the 50 bicycles 2 months ago. Okay? So we wrote the ratio of the amount of change to the original amount, and now we have to write the ratio as a percent. So we need to turn this ratio or turn this fraction into a percent. So I'm going to reduce this to 1/10 because I divided these both by 5. And to turn the fraction 1/10 into percent, I have to get my denominator to 100. So I'm going to times it by 10, times it by 10. So it's going to be 10 hundredths or 10%. So again, I first find the amount of change by taking what I had last month minus what I had 2 months ago to get my change of 5. And then I did my change divided by the original. And then I turned my last step was I turned my ratio into a percent. So not too bad. My next example, it says find the percent of change and state whether the percent of change is an increase or decrease. All right. So, and you your book kind of used some very general examples, but you can think if there is an original amount of 15 of something, and now there's a new amount of 12. So, what I'm going to do is I'm going to first find my change, okay? So I started at 15, and then my new amount was 12. So 15 minus 12 is 3. And right away, I know that it's going to be a decrease because it went from 15 to 12. And that actually reminds me, I didn't do my last question here. So state whether the percent of change is an increase or a decrease, okay? Well, it went from 50 bikes to 55 bikes, okay? So I can say that the percent of change is an increase. So look at if the price is, if the item is increasing or decreasing. In this example, we went from 15 to 12, so that was a decrease and went down by 3, okay? So we need to find that percent of change. So it's 3 out of my original, 3 out of 15, and now I have to change this into a percent. So I'm going to simplify this fraction to 1/5 by dividing each the top and the bottom of my fraction by 3. And I need to now change 1/5 into a percent. So I need to make my percents out of 100. 5 times 20 is 100. So 1 times 20 is 20 hundredths or 20%. So it's a decrease of 20%. So again, first find your change, put it over your original, turn it into a percent. Easy as that. Next example says find the selling price for an item given the cost to the store and the markup. Okay, so as the only way for stores to make money is they purchase items from some type of company, and then they sell that item more expensive from what they bought in order to make a profit. And so we're going to kind of figure out how much this store is actually going to be selling this sport bag. So it costs $40 for the store to to purchase this bag. And then what the store is going to do to make money is it's going to charge us, the consumer, 30% more than that original cost. So what we're going to do, and this is going to give you a little steps here, we're going to first take our percent or our discount, and we're going to multiply it by our original, or what this original price to the store it was. So what we're going to do is I'm going to take my 30%, and then I'm going to times that by my $40 sport bag. And if you can remember the trick, you can either do, you can type in your calculator 0.30 times 40, or remember the trick, 3 times 4 equals 12. So from there, we're going to find that the store is marking up this sport bag by $12. So then we're going to take the $40 bag, so that's my original, and I'm going to add that $12 markup amount. So that $12 markup amount plus the $40 original is going to get my selling price of $52. So that $40 bag, the cost of that $40 bag to the store is now charging us, the consumer, $52 for that bag in order for that store to make a money. So again, in order to find the original, the selling price, you're going to take your original, the cost of the bag, times it by your discount, and then you're going to take that markup amount and add it back to our original price of $40 to get our total of $52, which is what the store is going to sell that bag for. My last example says, find the sale price of Nike shoes that cost $70 with a 10% discount. And hopefully this is an example that looks familiar to you. So all we're going to do is we're going to take the original cost times our percent, and that's going to get us our discounted amount. So we're going to take our $70 shoes, times it by our 10%. Or we're going to take, or if you want to type in your calculator, 70 times 0.10. Or, remember, make this easy. 7 times 1 equals 7. So make that $7 discount. So we're going to take the original $70 shoes minus my $7 discount, and that's going to give me my sale price of $63. So those $70 shoes with that 10% discount are now $63. That brings me to the end of this lesson on percent of change. Thanks for watching.